Well, hey, neighbor.
How we doing?
Good to see you. This is Sammy Foster from Lighthouse Church, and I'll start with telling the story of how I was introduced to Lighthouse and how I met Sammy. I was introduced to Lighthouse through my friend Steve Healy, who invited me to come to a service. And I thought, sure, it's going to be like any other church. So I brought the entire family, and we walked into the sanctuary. And first of all, we're in Glen Burnie in a warehouse, so I thought, am I even at the right place? And we came in, and on my left is probably the leading defense attorney in the entire state of Maryland, and on my right was a brother that had tattoos and piercings, just looking for Jesus.
Totally.
Right? So Sammy comes out.
I like how you said it. You said it was either Yale or jail, which is
it was Yale and jail on both sides. I didn't know which way this thing was going to go. Sammy comes out, huge light about him, and crushes a sermon. We're up on our feet, we're cheering. And I left feeling like I'd been to an Anthony Robbins concert, but what the transformation was, you've made church fun again. You made church fun again for our family. We love coming on Sundays. We love watching online when we can't come. We also love hitting Uber Bagels afterward.
Come on.
I want to thank you for that, first and foremost. But more importantly, the reason why I asked you to be on here today is because you are reaching so many people in our community, and I think you're a gift to Anne Arundel County. And I'd love to hear your story. So if you could, tell us a little about yourself and about Lighthouse Church, first and foremost.
Yeah, so I get the incredible privilege of being the lead pastor here at Lighthouse. I'm born and raised in this area, which is unique in the pastorate world because many people that have the privilege of pastoring either large congregations or have, a reach that is an impactful ministry, typically you're transplanted from either LA or Texas. Okay. So everything big comes from Texas, where in this case, this is sort of unique to our area that not only am I born and raised here, but now I get to serve here. And I count that as one of the greatest blessings of my life, that not only would Jesus save me, but then he'd use me, and he'd do so in the area of which I was sort of groomed in. And so it was always my aspiration, actually, after I came to faith and got redeemed and got renewed, and there's a whole story that comes with that of addiction and struggle and hardship and then miracle, that actually I wanted to be transplanted. Like, I had aspirations to go to San Diego. I had job opportunities there after I graduated seminary. And yet, due to a series of circumstances that were totally God, he saw fit to keep me here. Now, you're going to have to know that it's God to forego San Diego and to remain in Glen Burnie, but it was God all the way. And so now I've come to really appreciate where I'm planted, that be Anne Arundel County, Glen Burnie, Severna Park, Annapolis, and I really love that I can love the people here. And ultimately, my passion, if you get right down to it, it's to take this big thing called Christendom, the message of Jesus, and attempt to make it plain and simple. I think one of the major problems when it comes to church or Christendom as we know it is that we've made it incredibly complex. We've convoluted it, we've added to it, and we've made it all of these things that Jesus never intended it. And so my affinity towards church is, as you see behind me, it's not just a slogan or a cute little quip or a motto. It's really the guts of who we are. Simple church, simply Jesus, where we try to keep it simple so that people can find the life that Jesus intended. That's the heartbeat.
I love it. When people know that we're friends, they'll ask me, what's Sammy like? And I describe you as having this really big light that people are attracted to, right? It's like you've got this light about you, this energy, this positivity, and that attraction is working. Lighthouse Church has grown. Where were you and where is the church now?
Yeah. So just to rewind the tape, my father was the one that planted Lighthouse Church. That was in the year 2000, January. And so he planted the church. We remained a little small community in Pasadena for 10 years. And so we never really grew beyond 90 people. And back in that day, really, we didn't even know we were small, So it wasn't like our aspiration to grow, or we didn't have, big vision or big dreams. I was working in the private sector doing this little automotive sort of business, and I loved it. That's where I found my fit. And this was post-seminary, and I just thought, wait a minute, ministry is on the back burner. Maybe that's sometime in the future. But my father pastored, and then due to another set of circumstances, he had said, hey, would you consider joining me and maybe, taking it to the next level? Whatever that, we couldn't even quantify what next level was. Well, when I came on, I really felt like, man, we need to leave where we were back in this neighborhood and relocate to Glen Burnie. I went to Old Mill High School. I knew Crane Highway. I knew this perfect little building. And so by God's grace, the elders went and visited this building. They said, hey, we're all in. And man, I mean, by God's grace, they sewed into it. We took the little bit of money that we had. We relocated from Pasadena to Glen Burnie. And we've since grown from what was, I would argue it was more like 60 people to now we're upwards of 7,000, 8,000 people.
Wow, that's incredible. And if any of you haven't been to Lighthouse or had a chance to see Sammy preach, it's a must. It's an absolute must. You will leave here a major fan. So Sammy, you're leading a huge organization. You must have to decompress. There must be an outlet for you. You're a normal person that lives in Annapolis and in the middle of a move. What is your favorite way or favorite thing in Anne Arundel County to do to sort of clear your head?
I'm a foodie.
You're a foodie?
I'm a foodie. So we can get right down to it. I like to eat. I like good drink. I like to hang out with good people. And so I like to frequent whatever new restaurant there is, and I will grade it harshly. I am a critic. But nevertheless, I like to eat and have good food. My real affinity towards food always sort of comes back to Italian and seafood, but Italian. I'm a major Italian fan. And so I'll
Your last Italian meal would be at?
Carpaccio's.
I love it.
Yep.
I love carpaccio. Great call.
Absolutely.
Great call. Well, thanks. You're not a good neighbor. You're a great neighbor. Thanks for being on here. I appreciate you so very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.